Lucid Motors says that former Tesla owners, well, at least potentially even Tesla owners, are selling their cars and they're buying Lucid EVs. In fact, 50% of them, which is a pretty staggering number. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. It's great to have you with us. What does all of this mean? Well, apparently, a lot of Tesla owners or former owners are selling their Teslas to buy a car from Lucid, which is an American electric car company. Here's what Lucid said. Right now, 50% of all the orders we have are from former Tesla owners. Now, that's from Lucid's CEO. After showing off the brand's first electric SUV, the Lucid Gravity, which I've got to say is one of the best electric SUVs in the world, CEO Mark Winteroff told Fox Business that the company has seen a huge uptick in orders over the past 2 months. In particular, orders from Tesla drivers. Tesla owners have always been a source for Lucid as another EV brand. However, apparently more and more Tesla owners are saying, you know what, we don't want a Tesla, let's get a Lucid. So if 50% of all orders are from former Tesla owners, it would appear that, here's what the CEO said. It's what you mentioned, referring to the negative sentiment about Elon Musk and the lack of new vehicles outside of the Cybertruck. Many are looking for an option to not continue having a Tesla, said the CEO. Is this true, guys? If you live in America, is it true, or are you personally considering this, looking for an option to not have a Tesla? I've got to say, here in Australia, I know there's some people that have those feelings right now. Most people don't, though. Most people here in Australia, not all, but most people aren't really that interested in American politics. They're not really that concerned. But of course, you can see in Europe, Tesla sales are down again in the month of March. So I think in Europe, that's definitely it's been an issue. As you can see, look at all the damage. I mean, there's fires in Italy, fires in France, fires in Germany. I'm not just saying fires, I'm talking about arson. These comments came as Lucid ramped up deliveries of their SUV, the Gravity. And it's a really good vehicle. I actually think, even though it is expensive, starts at 80,000 US dollars. There will be apparently now, even though it's expensive, it starts at 95,000 US dollars, I should say. There will be a cheaper version coming eventually, which will cost 80,000 US dollars. But personally, I'm not so sure that there'd be, I mean, realistically, would it be accurate to say 50% of buyers, of former Tesla buyers, are spending 95,000 US dollars on an electric SUV from from Lucid? They could be. I mean, it's a good vehicle, but that's a lot of money. I mean, I personally can't imagine spending that kind of money on a vehicle. I wouldn't mind being in a position to do so. I'd be able to justify that. But to be honest, even if I had the millions of dollars that I feel that were required to justify spending that much, I probably still wouldn't do it anyway. But a lot of people do. I mean, a lot of people are like, you know what? We ain't going to live once. Let's just go out and have some fun. And Winteroff spoke about the impact of Trump's recent tariff hikes. And he's basically said, you know what? Everything's a bit of a shit show in America right now. And anything to do with Donald Trump is just on fire. Elon Musk, I do think, is to some degree damaging the Tesla brand. And there was an April Fool's Day article today published by a certain website claiming that the board members of Tesla had asked Elon Musk to step down. And people thought this was true. They really thought it was all on Reddit. People thought, oh, the board members and the chairman have asked Elon Musk to step down as CEO. This is great news. And it looked like the Tesla stock was going to spike back up. I don't know if that would be sustained or not, but possibly could be. So the question here is that a good move? I mean, would it be good if Tesla did remove Elon Musk? I certainly think it would be, at least in the short term. But that said, it's Musk does have some qualities, and right now I think we're seeing a lot of the negative ones. Anyhow, most people have blamed Elon Musk as the reason that they've purchased another vehicle, another electric car. So, guys, what are your thoughts about this? Do you agree, right, that people are flocking to Lucid Motors? I'm not sure if that's accurate. And the reason I say this is just because Lucid's not selling that many cars. I mean, put it this way. January of 2025, Lucid sold 665 vehicles. 665. Now, that sounds like a pretty low number, but that's actually a 51% increase versus January of 2024. February, they sold 805 cars. Yeah, and apparently March, 942. So they're selling, significantly less than 1,000 vehicles a month. That's a very small number. So I guess when you consider that fact, then it is probably very likely that 50% of these purchasers have probably owned a Tesla or do own a Tesla or have sold their Tesla, because these are really small sales numbers. Cumulatively, that means that so far this year, in the first 3 months of the year, Lucid has delivered only 2,400 vehicles, which in my opinion is just not enough. This company loses a huge amount of money on every car they sell. They've got to make more cars. They've got to sell more cars. They've got to get the word out there. And to be honest, I think they actually do make pretty good vehicles. So seeing these sales numbers, I've got to say, is a little disappointing. I don't think it's going to work out the way that the CEO thinks it is. If the CEO says, hey, we're going to base our marketing off saying that all these Tesla owners are buying our cars, and then these numbers come out and people are like, wait a minute, you're selling what, 750 cars a month on average. That's nothing. It's a lot of talk for very low sales numbers. I think don't talk so much, just do. Get those sales out there, maybe reduce the prices a little bit just to get those vehicles into people's driveways to show people how good these cars are. That's what I'd be doing. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think. In 2023, Lucid's Peter Rawlinson made $380 million in compensation. That year, he was one of the highest paid CEOs in the world. Now, beware any company where leadership compensation is not linked to performance. Rawlinson has now quit the company. Of course, he has made, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. The company has never made a profit. It lost another $1 billion in the fourth quarter of 2024. And one has to ask yourself the question, did Peter Rawlinson ever intend to make a successful car company, or did he simply intend to enrich himself to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars at the expense of investors? I think people in the United States should be furious. Lucid's stock price hit a high of $55. It's now trading at $2. The only person to benefit from Lucid is its CEO. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking.